structure of the kidney, whatever things are present inside the kidney and how the urine is formed and what are the clinical features regarding those. And already we have seen the parenchyma of the kidney is divided into a dark outer part called as the cortex. The light striated part is called as the medulla, and funnel shaped part is called as the pelvis. And the medulla is having 12 to 15 pyramids. See, these are the pyramids. And this pyramids, the apex of the pyramids drains into minor and finally into the major calyces, which is going to become the renal pelvis. This is the structure of the kidney or the parenchyma of the kidney. We know the uriniferous tubules, nothing but highly coiled nephron, which is about 30 to 40 millimeter long and which is in communication with the excretory collecting ducts, which commonly joins and forms the duct of Bellini. And this is the functional unit of the kidney. Each adult kidney has more than 1 million uriniferous tubules. And coming to the topic, nephron. This is a blind-ended tubule composed of, see, this is the renal corpuscle, proximal convoluted tubule. See, these are the convoluted tubules which are present nearer to the renal corpuscle, so-called proximal convoluted tubules. And see, and this is continuing as the loop of Henle, and then becomes the distal convoluted tubule, and finally the collecting duct. So the renal corpuscle, proximal convoluted tubule, these things are present in the cortex, renal cortex, and the loop of Henle is present in the renal medulla. And see, the collecting duct is also present in renal medulla. And this part where the Henle's loop and the collecting duct are present, and this area of the medulla is a region of hyperosmolarity. The concentration gradient is very more, and the counter current mechanism in the formation of urine, which is an important step in the formation of urine, takes place in the medulla. So the Henle's loop and the collecting duct are present in the medulla, and the renal corpuscle and the proximal convoluted tubule are present in the renal cortex. And see, these are the capillaries which are surrounding the parts of nephron, which are called as perirenal capillaries. See, this is the blood supplying pattern of the renal artery. As soon as the renal artery, which is a branch of abdominal aorta, enters the renal hilum, it divides into segmental arteries, primarily 2 to 3 segmental arteries. Totally 5 segmental arteries are there. And these segmental arteries become interlobar artery. And see, the pyramid and the part of cortex along the base of pyramid. And see, this is base of pyramid and this is apex of the pyramid. So the part of the cortex around the base of pyramid, and see the gaps here, these are called renal columns, and this area is called as one lobe of the kidney, and the artery or the segmental artery which is supplying this lobe is called interlobar artery. Again, it is divided into branches and which are supplying the medullary rays and deep into it, which is called interlobular artery. And the one which is covering the base of the pyramid is called arcuate artery. From the arcuate artery, small arterioles will arise, and see, this arterioles entering into this capsule, Bowman's capsule. And the one which is entering into the capsule is called afferent arteriole, and one which is leaving the capsule is called as the efferent arteriole. See, the blood which is rich in oxygen, about 20% of the cardiac output is entering directly into the kidneys, and the arteriole is entering into the Bowman's capsule, and the structure which is leaving the Bowman's capsule is also called the arteriole. So this network starts from the arteriole and ends in the arteriole. Again, this arteriole, the efferent arteriole, loops around the different parts of the nephron: proximal convoluted tubule, Henle's loop, and distal convoluted tubule. And this is called as perivascular network. And from these things, the venules are formed, and these are venule capillaries, and finally renal vein is formed. So once the afferent arteriole is entering into the Bowman's capsule, it is rich in oxygen and it is rich in the excretory products which are going to be excreted out. The metabolic waste and all the excretory products are rich in this afferent arteriole. When it leaves the Bowman's capsule, the efferent arteriole, it gives all the metabolic waste to the epithelium and also the oxygen. So the efferent arteriole is having only deoxygenated blood. And finally, the renal vein is formed. So எதனால இந்த perinephric network ஒன்னு ஃபார்ம் ஆகுதுன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, first ஒரு filtration நடக்குது. Then when the filtrate enter into the proximal convoluted tubule and the Henle's loop and far away, reabsorption of solutes, some will be transferred in between. So first filter ஆன fluidல இருந்து எதெல்லாம் திரும்ப எடுத்துக்கணும், திரும்ப வெளியில விடணும்ன்றத reprocess பண்றதுனால it is having a network of capillaries around the loops. Now entering into the glomerulus. Yes. See what happens in the glomerulus. So glomerulus na நமக்கு தெரியும், இதே capillaries தான், that is the afferent arteriole உள்ள போயிட்டு it is forming a tuft of capillaries, then it is leaving the Bowman's capsule as the efferent arteriole. So first அது உள்ள போயிட்டு it is forming a network of capillaries. So அது ஒரு உள்ள போகக்கூடிய blood எந்தெந்த substance எல்லாம் cross பண்ணி போகுது, layers என்னென்ன layers cross பண்ணி போகுதுன்னு பாருங்க. First the endothelium of the tuft of capillaries. So this endothelium has relatively large pores. This is the very different nature from the other endothelium. So in the endothelium is highly permeable and it is having large pores up to 70 to 100 nanometers in diameter, through which the solutes, the plasma proteins and fluids can pass through, but not the blood cells. So என்னெல்லாம் metabolic waste இருக்கோ அது எல்லாமே அதுல penetrate ஆகி போக முடியும். That's why it is having large pores. So இப்போ endothelial wall cross பண்ணி அந்த filtrate fluid வெளியில வந்துருச்சு. வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன இருக்கு? There is a basement membrane. So endotheliatoட basement membrane or the arterial-ஓட basement membrane இருக்கு. அந்த basement membrane-ஓட special feature என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, it is also permeable and it is fused with the endothelial layer. And the main function of this basement membrane is to prevent the plasma proteins. ஏன்னா endothelium-ல pores-ஓட size வந்து larger-ஆ இருக்கு. So அங்க இருந்து basement membrane என்ன பண்ணுதுன்னா plasma proteins prevent பண்ணுது. So blood stream குள்ளேயே திரும்ப அனுப்பிட்டு efferent arteriole-க்கு அனுப்பிடுது. அடுத்து next layer என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா epithelium, and this is a specialized epithelium. So இந்த glomerulus cover பண்ணி இருக்க அந்த Bowman's capsule, we know அந்த Bowman's capsule-ல ரெண்டு layer இருக்கு, a parietal layer and a visceral layer. So in the visceral layer we have a specialized cells called podocytes. So foot-like processes இருக்கும். Those are called podocytes. இதுவுமே என்ன பண்ணும்னா அங்கங்க ஸ்பேஸ் விட்டுருக்கும் and I'll show you the image. So this podocytes will have foot-like processes. They wrap around the capillaries and they leave some spaces which are called slits through which filtration takes place. A thin diaphragm between the slits act as a final filtration barrier. So blood which is entering into the afferent arteriole will pass through these structures. So glomerulus அப்படின்னு நம்ம ஜெனரலா சொல்றோம். அந்த glomerulus குள்ள என்னெல்லாம் இருக்குன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா first endothelium with large number of pores. அதை cross பண்ணி போகுது. Then basement membrane. Then ஒரு specialized layer of epithelium which is having podocytes and the pedicles. So இது எல்லாத்தையும் filter பண்ணி it is entering into. So Bowman's capsule ரெண்டு லேயர் இருக்கும்னு சொன்னேன். outer layer parietal layer, inner visceral layer. அந்த visceral layerல தான் we have the podocytes. outer layerல parietal layer. So இந்த ரெண்டு லேயருக்கு நடுவுல இருக்க ஸ்பேஸ் தான் என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா urinary space or the Bowman's space னு சொல்வாங்க. Here we have some specialized cells, epithelial cells called as mesangial cells. So இந்த mesangial cells ஓட important function என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா they support the capillaries or the arterioles. They are having a special type of repairing mechanism and they are acting like myoepithelial cells. Whenever there is a need for vasoconstriction, these mesangial cells will act as vasoconstrictor and help in the constriction of the afferent arterioles. And see. So this is the tuft of capillaries which is called glomerulus. And see the cup-shaped portion which is enclosing the tuft of capillaries is called as the Bowman's capsule. So in the Bowman's capsule ரெண்டு layer இருக்குன்னு பார்த்தோம், which is outer layer parietal and which is squamous epithelium, and inner layer is the specialized type of epithelium which is called as podocytes. Podocytes நடுவுல இருக்க அந்த slit diaphragms இதுதான். இது வழியா தான் enter ஆயிட்டு the filtrate, final glomerular filtrate is coming out, and this space is called as urinary space. In the urinary space la தான் we have the mesangial cells. See, these are the podocytes and these are the pedicles, foot-like processes, and in the gaps வழியா see this is the basement membrane, and the red colorல இருக்கிறது endothelium. Endothelium with large number of pores. இது எல்லாம் cross பண்ணி இந்த urinary space க்கு வந்த அந்த substance க்கு பேர் தான் filtrate. Okay வா? So now the formation of urine or the steps in formation of urine. So first step என்ன நடக்குது? Filtration, by which water and solutes, dissolved substances in the blood leave the vascular space. So இந்த arteriole இருந்து enters into the lumen of the nephron, that is the proximal convoluted tubule. Then what happens in the tubules? Tubular secretion. The tubular secretion enna agudhu, by which the substances move from the epithelial cells of the tubules into the lumens, usually after uptake from the surrounding interstitium and the capillaries. So ஒரு particular part வேண்டான excrete பண்ணி வெளியில அனுப்பிடுச்சு அந்த ஆர்டீரியோல்ல இருந்து, அது அந்த ப்ராக்சிமல் கன்வல்யூட்டட் டிபியூலுக்கு போகும்போது சில சப்ஸ்டன்ஸ திரும்ப கேபிலரிஸ் எடுத்துக்குது. அந்த பெரிகாப்சுலர் நெட்வொர்க் பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா, that are taking up again, and அதுல இருந்து திரும்ப சில சப்ஸ்டன்சஸ் are re-entering into the proximal convoluted tubule, which is called tubular secretion and reabsorption. So இந்த ரெண்டு ப்ராசஸும் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். So filtration first important substance na kuda, next process secretion and reabsorption. இந்த மூணுமே கலெக்டிவா நடக்கும்போது தான் concentrated urine is formed. So first நம்ம பார்த்தோம் glomerulus குள்ள போகுது, substances are taken away and the filtrate is formed. The basement membrane between the endothelium and the podocyte is about 320 nanometer to 340 nanometer wide in humans. So இதுல என்ன இருக்கும்? This is very important, and finally we can discuss about this. So it contains some collagen particles are the connective tissue, which is laminin, fibronectin, and different types of collagen, and proteoglycans and heparin sulfate. And the basement membrane is rich in these types of connective tissue. So the glomerular filtration is the first step in making urine, and it is the process that kidneys use to filter excess fluid and waste products out of the blood into the urine collecting tubules of the kidney. Altogether, they receive over a liter of blood each minute and eliminate around 1.5 liters of urine per day. The main substances excreted in urine என்னெல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா, the metabolic waste products, example urea and creatinine, and electrolytes like sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride, and bicarbonate. These are excreted and reabsorbed to maintain internal conditions stable and relatively constant, the process which is called homeostasis. And the other substances are water and non-natural substances, and some colored medicines, dyes, etc. are filtered out through the glomerular filtration. Glomerular filtration rate, the rate at which the plasma is filtered by the kidney glomeruli. An important measurement in the evaluation of kidney function. So GFR, evlo normal value 125 ml of plasma per minute or 180 liters per day. So patients varanga glomerular filtration rate வந்து கம்மியா இருக்கு values. So water intake அதிகமா இருந்தா நான் நிறைய தண்ணி குடிச்சிட்டா GFR increase ஆகுமா அப்படின்னு கேட்டாங்கன்னா, is it so? No. So GFR அப்படிங்கிறது என்ன? It is the filtrate, the metabolic waste என்னெல்லாம் வெளியில எக்ஸ்கிரீட் ஆகணுமோ அத glomerulus filter பண்ணி அனுப்புறது தான் glomerular filtration rate. அப்ப glomerular filtration rateல ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குன்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? The problem is in the glomerulus and not especially in the water intake. So water intake அதிகமா இருக்கிறதுனால GFRல increase ஆகாது. So the kidneys filter the plasma some 60 times in a day. The glomeruli allow some substances but not larger proteins and blood cells into the urine in normal conditions. If smaller proteins are leaking through the glomeruli, the tubules recapture those proteins and keep them in the body. That is called reabsorption. So glomerulus valiya some substances velila vandha kuda in the proximal convoluted tubule, Henle's loop, distal convoluted tubule la enna pannum, they will reabsorb. That is the recapturing of those substances. However, if the glomeruli or tubules are damaged, so edavadhu or problem irukku, or if there is any problem with the reabsorption process, what happens? These large proteins will be excreted, and that is called as proteinuria. So glomerulus main filter பண்ணி எடுத்துரும், protein allow பண்ணவே பண்ணாது. Small proteins வந்துருச்சுனா கூட the tubules will reabsorb it. அதையும் தாண்டி வெளியில வருதுனா, if there is any problem in reabsorption and in the filtering media, so filter வந்து கரெக்ட்டா வர்க் ஆகல அப்படினா, the condition which is called proteinuria will result. So இப்ப glomerulus தாண்டி proximal convoluted tubule க்கு வந்துச்சு. See, this is the lumen of the proximal convoluted tubule. So first நான் என்ன சொன்னேன், Bowman's capsule ஓட parietal layerல squamous epithelium இருக்கும்னு சொன்னேன். So இந்த proximal convoluted tubule க்கு வரும்போது It is formed as cuboidal epithelium, and special feature of this proximal convoluted tubule is brush border cell in the apical surface. So அந்த lumen கிட்ட வரும்போது அந்த செல்லோட superior surfaceல பாத்தீங்கன்னா brush border cells இருக்கும், and the lumen is very small. So இது எதுக்காக இருக்குன்னா அந்த reabsorption and secretion. So extra substances, some proteins வந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னா it has to give it to the capillaries around the proximal convoluted tubule. So அதுக்காக என்ன பண்ணுனா it is having some lysosomes in the apical surface. So அந்த substance எல்லாத்தையும் எடுத்து dissolve பண்ணி it is transferring those substances to the capillaries around the proximal convoluted tubule. So this is lined by simple cuboidal epithelium. Main function of this proximal convoluted tubule is reabsorption and secretion. Over half of the water and the electrolytes and all the organic nutrients filtered from the plasma in the renal corpuscle are normally reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule. So நிறைய filter ஆகி first வந்துருச்சு, வந்ததுல maximum number of substances are reabsorbed in this proximal convoluted tubule. These molecules are transferred directly across the tubular wall for immediate uptake again into the plasma. So vanda odane it is again re-entering into the capillaries. And see the lumen of Henle's loop, very flat cells, which is nothing but squamous epithelium. அடுத்தது distal convoluted tubule க்கு போகும்போது again it is raised cuboidal epithelium. திரும்ப collecting duct க்கு வரும்போது it is simple squamous epithelium. So already I have told you Henle's loop collecting duct எங்க இருக்கு, மெடுலால present ஆயிருக்கு. So மெடுலால எப்பயுமே osmotic pressure gradient வந்து அதிகமா இருக்கும். So ஈஸியா substances வெளியில வரணும்ன்றதுனால simple squamous epithelium Henle's loopலயும் collecting ductலயும் இருக்கு. Whereas in cuboidal epithelium, whereas in proximal and distal convoluted tubules, which is present in the cortex, are lined by cuboidal epithelium. இப்போ proximal convoluted tubule reabsorption and secretion முடிஞ்சிருச்சு, maximum substance எல்லாமே திரும்பவும் capillaries குள்ள போயிடுச்சு. எதெல்லாம் கன்ஃபார்மா எக்ஸ்க்ரீட் ஆகணுமோ அது மட்டும் தான் proximal convoluted tubule தாண்டி Henle's loopக்கு வருது. So suddenly convoluted என்ன, நிறைய tortuous-ஆ சுருண்டு சுருண்டு இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு tubule straight tubule மாறுது, and it is entering into the medulla, and it is having two parts. என்னலாம், a descending loop and an ascending loop. So first இந்த கீழ மெடுலாக்குள்ள வந்தோடனே it is becoming very thin, அதோட அந்த diameter எல்லாமே suddenly reduce ஆகுது. So it is having a thin descending loop and a thin ascending loop. And already we have seen the epithelium, lining epithelium is simple squamous epithelium. So in the Henle's loopல மெடுலால கிராஸ் பண்ணி போகும்போது முக்கியமான ஃபங்க்ஷன் என்ன நடக்குது, concentration of the urine. So salt, the sodium chloride is taken out from the filtrate. So sodium chloride solutes எல்லாமே filtrate ஆகி வந்திருக்குன்னு நாம பார்த்தோம். So Henle's loop குள்ள வரும்போது என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, ஆல்ரெடி இந்த இடத்துல it is high osmolarity is present. ஏற்கனவே அங்க pressure gradient அதிகமா தான் இருக்கு, interstitiumல sodium chloride level அதிகமா தான் இருக்கும். So against the pressure gradient the sodium chloride is taken out. So இந்த descending loopல இருந்து sodium chloride ஃபுல்லாவே interstitial spaceக்கு வெளியில வந்து அங்க இருந்து capillaries-க்கு போயிடுது. So இப்போ sodium and chloride வெளியில வந்துச்சுனாலே passive movement of water எப்பயுமே இருக்கும். So sodium-உம் chloride-உம் வெளியில வந்த உடனே என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு, வாட்டரும் இந்த Henle's loopல இருந்து நிறைய வெளியில வந்துருச்சு. So அப்போ வாட்டர் வெளியில வந்துருச்சுனாலே என்ன அர்த்தம், யூரின் கான்சென்ட்ரேட்டட் ஆயிடுச்சு. உடனே இது என்ன பண்ணுது, இந்த ascending loop-க்கு வந்த உடனே this sodium chloride is taken in. sodium chloride உள்ள வந்துருச்சு. sodium chloride சேர்ந்து யார் வருவாங்க, வாட்டர். But what happens here in the ascending loopல it is impermeable to water. அதனால வெளியில போன வாட்டர் வெளியில போனதுதான். It cannot re-enter into the loop. Whereas sodium chloride, which is taken against the gradient force, it is taken back into the Henry's loop. This is called as counter current mechanism. So descending loop la irundhu sodium chloride water rendume velila varudhu. Ascending loop ku pogumbodhu sodium chloride mattum dhaan ulla pogum because the ascending loop is impermeable to water. So thus concentrated urine is formed. அடுத்து distal convoluted tubule க்கு போகுது. So ascending limb of the nephron is straight as it enters the cortex. இப்ப மெடுலால இருந்து திரும்பவும் கார்டெக்ஸ்க்கு போகுது and forms a special structure called macula densa and then becomes again tortuous. திரும்பவும் அதே மாதிரி டஃப்டா மாறுது. So that is called as distal convoluted tubule. So in the proximal க்கும் distal க்கும் இருக்க difference என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா it doesn't have brush border cells. So secretion அந்த அளவுக்கு இங்க தேவையில்லை. So brush border cells are not present in the distal convoluted tubule. So the rate of sodium absorption here is regulated by aldosterone, which is from the adrenal cortex. Where the initial straight part of the distal tubule, which is enclosed with the afferent arteriole. So நல்லா கார்டெக்ஸ்க்கு வந்துருது. வந்த உடனே அதோட பேரண்ட் நெஃப்ரான் glomerulus கிட்ட போகும். எந்த glomerulus-ல இருந்து இந்த distal convoluted tubule ஃபார்ம் ஆச்சோ it will be very closer to the afferent arteriole. That is called parent glomerulus. அது கிட்ட போகும்போது that pole is called vascular pole of the glomerulus. Innone opposite pole is called as tubular pole, which is more towards the proximal convoluted tubule. It forms a special feature called macula densa. And the cuboidal epithelium ellame enna aguna tall epithelium ah maarudhu. That is columnar and becomes closely packed, and that special cell is called macula densa. This is part of a specialized sensory structure, the juxtaglomerular apparatus, which utilizes feedback mechanisms to regulate glomerular blood flow and keep the rate of glomerular filtration relatively constant. So எதுக்காக இந்த juxtaglomerular apparatus இருக்குன்னா having lateral foldings, and these are having some special cells called aquaporins. So இந்த aquaporins ஓட வேலை என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா they are very attracted towards the water. So water ஈஸியா எடுத்து வெளியில விடுறது தான் அதோட வேலை. ஓகேவா? And these collecting ducts are running parallel to the Henle's loop, and these are present in the medulla. See what happens here. So it is taking out the sodium and chloride ions. So வெளியில போகும்போது வாட்டரும் தன்னாலேயே சேர்ந்து வெளியில போயிடும். Aquaporins. So the antidiuretic hormone, as the body becomes dehydrated, water content வந்து குறைஞ்சிருச்சு, makes the collecting ducts more permeable to water. So the aquaporins are responsible. Upon binding, this antidiuretic hormone receptors on the basolateral cell surface simulate the movement and the insertion of vesicles with this aquaporin into the superior part, that is the apical membranes, increasing the number of membrane channels and water movement. So water oda permeability அதிகப்படுத்துது. The high osmolarity of the interstitial space draws water passively from the collecting ducts. So finally நம்மளோட aim என்ன, concentrated urine filtrate வரணும். So அதனால இந்த மாதிரியான functions எல்லாம் நடக்குது. The water thus saved immediately enter the blood, increasing the volume of the blood.